Hello, Periscope viewers. It's Dr. George Kosmides coming to you tonight from Redondo Beach, California. Hey, everybody. Hey, Kathy B. Thanks for joining. I missed a few. Amanda and Eric, thanks for joining. Hey, Kit, thanks for coming on board. Oh, several of my Lean Body Academy people are here. Josepan, thanks. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining. WNOP Tribe, thanks for joining. Thanks for coming on board with me tonight. Hi. Hope you're accessing everything in the program okay. If you're not, you can always email me directly. Thank goodness, no more webmaster. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Doc, does a little loose skin go away by working out? It does not, and I'll try to address that. Dude, yes, it's great. Great. Thank you so much. Hope it's super easy, and I'm updating my information in it all the time. Anyway, for those of you guys that are new to my scope, I want to appreciate you coming. Throw a one up. Hey, Lynn. Throw a one up if you're new to the scope, so I know how many newbies are coming on board, and I'd love to have you. I love the people that are following me continually. I hope that I'm helping you. I'll continue to do so. Great, thanks for joining. Tapping the screen just means you give me hearts and you like the content. Reason that I'm here. I think we're about 2.5 million now. I appreciate that. Sliding up the screen for an iPhone, you can share it with your friends, which is another big boost for me to give this information to people and clear up some of this misinformation that's out there. We're going to tackle this tonight. Give you a background on me. I'm Dr. George Kosmides. I've been a practicing doctor of chiropractic since early 1990s. I got involved in functional medicine after I nearly lost my life, and I lost my father lost his life at 56, my two uncles at 55 and 31, to the side effects of diabetes. Not diabetes, but to the side effects. And I read everything I could about the subject, and the research that I reviewed that really shocked me was by Dr. Karen O'Day. You might want to pull her up if you have anybody who's a diabetic in your family. Her first name is Karen, last name is O'Day, O''DEA, University of Melbourne in Australia. Super bright lady, excellent peer review researcher. She wrote a paper that she was resolving type 2 diabetes in that's correct, Karen O'Day, in 7 weeks. Not only resolving the type 2 diabetes, but resolving their abnormal blood work. Triglycerides, blood pressure. I mean, just phenomenal. Try the coffee. You talked about Joanne's scope. Works great. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad. So that's what got me rolling, and I now teach seminars on diabetes to doctors here in the state of California. I'm the only chiropractor that I know that's licensed to do so. I teach 12 hours. And again, I'm not treating the disease. I'm focusing on supporting the person that has it. So tonight's scope is based on you guys' direct messages and your emails regarding intermittent fasting. I've probably gotten 20 emails and requests to talk about this subject. I did do a scope on it, but I'm going to do this one more specific. And for those of you that are intermittent fasting or trainers or health professionals, I'm not here to make you wrong. I'm here to look into the physiology of how these things work and how we can do them better, how we can do them easier, how we can do them consistently, because that's the key. So that being said, there's a research site. If you're really interested in getting into the nitty-gritty research, it's called PubMed, P-U-M-E-D, all one word. And it's a research site where you can just type in the topic that you're looking for, and you'll be able to pull up peer-reviewed research papers. That means 2 or 3 or 4 more physicians and sometimes lay people write a paper, they submit it to a board, and they approve it, and they publish it on this site. It's got about 3.5 million research papers. So that's what I use in my teachings, and I try to break it down simple because a lot of this stuff is super, super dry. I mean, really dry. So let's get into intermittent fasting. The way I run my scopes is I'll go over intermittent fasting, talk about it, try to answer a majority of the possible questions. Then you can throw questions at me. Do you have avocado full blown? Okay, that's what I'm going to talk about right now. So I've read about 5 research papers, anywhere from about 12 pages to about 35 on intermittent fasting. Here's the goal of the 5 papers that I read. Here's the goal. Number 1, the goal of all 5 of the papers is to drop your blood sugar low when you go to sleep. So you have a low functioning blood sugar. Why is that important? Several factors happen when our blood sugar rises when we sleep. First thing that happens is the body thinks it's going to go out and work. So a lot of the hormones that normally should get released don't. Human growth hormone, probably the biggest one. So the human growth hormone is what, kids in their 20s and teens are releasing by literally by the boatload. As we age, and I'm 52, I'm releasing about 10% of what I released in my teens and my early 20s. Research says that even a gram of simple sugar, a banana, fruit juice, dried fruit, will actually suppress human growth hormone if eaten 3 hours before bed. So we'll talk about that. So intermittent fasting's idea is to totally fast, dropping the blood sugar, causing metabolic processes, some are positive, to go into effect. The problem is this: when you begin to drop your calories low or you don't eat anything at all, the body is going into what's called self-preservation mode, and it lowers the internal furnace, or calorie burning. So your metabolic system gets low. People that are cold all the time, vegetarians struggle with this a lot. So that's part of the problem. In my Lean Body Academy, and what I teach is low load and low glycemic food. So you're still going to drop your blood sugar, but you don't have to totally fast. Now, don't misunderstand me. There are times when I'll do juicing for 4 or 5 hours and things of that nature. When we talk about weight, we have to talk about how much of that is body fat. Remember, blood is about 75% water. So if you're dropping 8, 10, 12, 14 pounds in 10 days, I'm going to bet you about 95% that's coming from water loss and not fat. And that's the real key. And that can really follow up your system. So again, if you're going to do things like ketosis and intermittent fasting, you really want to understand what you're doing. And number one thing I recommend is, what's your goal? It should be in this order. Drop, what is my current body fat? What do I want to get it to? That's number one. Number two, what can I do reasonably in my time frame? What will my day allow consistently? Do you have kids? Do you have a family? Do you have a long commute to work? What is your current situation? So you want to look at fundamental things that are going to drive you forward or move you back. Okay, that's really important. So it's not what's the best thing, it's what's the best thing for your particular circumstance. And I fail to see that in a lot of the papers that I read and a lot of the blogs. It's almost like you have nothing else to do but work on your body, and that's not the case. My Lean Body Academy, my program is all designed, and my information I give you on Periscope, and I'm all designed to get you to drop body fat conveniently as possible. Of course, there's work involved, but most of it's up here, not working out. That's not the way to go. It's not even in my top 5 things to do. If you really want to drop weight, it's not in my top 5 things to do. So intermittent fasting, the goal is to shock the metabolic system. You have to be very, very smart when you do it. I don't recommend fasts consistently. There's benefits, but again, everyone's an individual. So exercise is not a prerequisite if you want to drop body fat. My whole goal of the Lean Body Academy, and I've got people on it that are 60, 70% body fat, and they're dropping weight, but more importantly, they're dropping their body fat. One lady just dropped 9.5% in about 4.5 months. That's phenomenal. Exercise is not the focus. So fasting, detox programs, they're all kind of in the same boat. You need to, become a student of it, not just jump in it and just do it. Because if you know anyone that's done it, a boot camp or a weekend fast, depending on your current state of health, it could be pretty, detrimental. Just be careful. I'm ultra conservative. If I was a Mahatma Gandhi or Albert Schweitzer, I think my opinion would matter, but I'm not. I'm a practicing functional medicine doctor. I practice chiropractic here 2.5 days a week. I teach on my scopes, and I teach here to doctors here in California, but it has to be all research-based, and you have to be reasonable and practical. Now, that being said, let's answer some questions. You're about 310 pounds. My next question to you is, Spoon, what's your percentage of body fat? 214, what's your percentage of body fat? These are things that you need to know, and I don't know is unacceptable. If you have a local gym in your area, call them and say, hey, do you do body fat testing? Go there and get it tested. It's in my program. The first video you see will be me giving you 3 keys to do. Your body fat, and then help you determine your lean body mass and your lean body mass water intake. Everything you do, trust me, everything you do is going to stem from that. Best oil to cook with, in my humble opinion, there's 3. Coconut oil, palm oil, which is not great tasting to me, and then grapeseed. Need to drop 10% in my currently 25%, I weigh 214. 25% is not bad, Just remember, when you start dropping your body fat below 20%, you need to be way more cerebral, and then you have to add some exercise. So men should be hovering anywhere from between 23 and 18. Women should be about 19 to 25%. Once you gals get above 30%, your risk for breast and ovarian cancer goes through the roof. Do I just walk or lift weight? Never worked out really. Yeah, I would worry about your kitchen first and your lean body mass first. Don't even think about the exercise until you get those down. I didn't get that last comment. You guys have to remember, exercise is a form of controlled trauma. Hi, Lakshmi. I could be comfortable with it. Yeah, that's a good number to, I want to walk around between 12 and 15%. I think I can do that. Right now I'm about 15%. I've been that way for months now. Well, okay, so see, the first thing is you become mindful, but again, it's not wrong to do that. That's just a choice that you're making. I made a post where I said, I never ate something unconsciously. I always know what I'm eating. I just choose to eat this or that. Were you ever over? I was overweight as a teen. You remember the fat kid at the swimming pool with the t-shirt on? That was me. Between about 13 and 16 years of age. That was me. So I've been there. I nearly lost my life at 19 in an auto accident. So I was scheduled for back surgery. I was 128, 129 pounds. And I'm 175, 180 now. How do I get cerebral to drop below 18%? Good question. Join the Lean Body Academy. I'll teach you more in that academy about how to be a master of your own body than anything that's out there. I'm not bragging about me. I'm just saying I've taken keys from everyone. Deepak Chopra is Ayurvedic Center. I went to China and studied acupuncture. I learned all these little keys and put them together in a simple process. We're so good about grapeseed. Good. Grapeseed is good. The reason I like coconut is it has about 75% of something called a medium chain triglyceride, a medium chain fat. And what research is finding out now is it's the medium chain fat that begins to start the metabolic furnace as far as fat metabolism. So that's what Atkins was trying to do in his Atkins program, is push medium chain fats. Coconut has them in abundance, plus it has oleic and linoleic acid, which actually sparks the mitochondria. Lean Body Academy, that's correct. How do I join the academy? Right now I got 50% off. It's like 50 cents a day. How do you get your body fat? You can call up a local gym, Kathy, and see if they'll do it for you. Not even being a member, they'll want to get you to join, but say, do you guys do body fat testing? And go there, and they'll either pinch your skin or you'll hold this bioimpedance scale or handheld. Then they'll have a scale if they've got one to do your weight and your body fat. But it's crucial. Any program, I don't care if it's a national program or some big celebrities backing it. If you don't know your lean body mass, all you're doing is playing with numbers. So that's why if anyone is on the scope that's on my lean body program, I hope there is, because I'm going to look kind of like a jerk. What's your lean body mass protein intake? And you should see some numbers pop up. See if there's anybody in here on my program. Usually there is, but I've been getting a lot of new people lately. Here we go, 67. There you go. You see it? These people know their numbers. So that's how much protein they're eating per day to support their lean body mass. You see? That is absolutely crucial. You have to, no matter how fat you are, no matter how obese, it doesn't matter. You still have a muscle mass that you have to support. And if you're not supporting it with your protein intake, which actually helps to make muscle stay on your body, you're just going to get lighter, but you may actually get fatter. Your body fat may climb. And we're finding out now through research. Oh, first time here, it's Lean Body Academy. If you guys go to the profile of Scopers, hey Joanne, thanks for inviting your followers. If you guys go to my profile, you'll see two things. You'll see the Lean Body Academy link, and you'll see get free reports. And it's just you'll get on my email list, and I'll send you some cool stuff, cool information that'll get you thinking. It's not about training. How many of us know people, and put a 1 up there if you know people that train and they started a boot camp or something, and a month or 6 weeks later, they're either heavier or they look the same, or they feel the same, or they feel worse. Yeah, it's not the way to go. And believe me, it's not my opinion. It's what the peer-reviewed research is saying. My mother is overweight, and I'm trying to help her for the sake of health for past years. Okay, I have a question to ask you, and I lost my dad at 56. Here's the question you have to ask for anyone that you love. You guys ready for this? And I'm going to give you, at the end of my scope, so stay with me, I'm going to give you a couple pearls that are in my program for free, absolutely free. Don't have to worry about it. These are pearls. We all know someone that needs help. Here's the question. And I've got a story, and if enough people ask me, I'll tell the story again. My wife's not here. She's in the back. She rolls her eyes, but I'll tell you a story about helping people that nearly broke, well, it didn't nearly, it broke my heart when I was an intern. They may not want it. Even though you think they need it, other people think they need it, they might need it. They have to step forward. That's why anyone that wants to work with someone or work with me or get on my program, they have to step out. Do not, and you can do it, but you might waste your money. Don't buy my program or someone's program or a book for someone unless they have to spend the time and the money to do it, or the value is going to be not there. Again, this gets into the emotional issues, and I talk about this in my program. I'm about to start a ketogenic diet on Wednesday. Any advice? You want to go into ketosis. I was doing that when Atkins just started back in the day. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you understand what it is? 1,800 calories. Don't waste your time. It's about it's about nutritional density. The more nutritionally dense your food are, the less calories your body will require. Is your program a vegan-based? It can be. My program is so versatile because it gets into the fundamentals of how your body works physiologically, and how you apply it is up to you. I gave her this great detox diet, and she did a great renown. She 10 days are up. See, that's what I mean. You have to think about longevity. My fast track program is 12 weeks, but we do coaching calls every week, and there's members area. I mean, just the platform I have for it is phenomenal. It's taken me years to get it that way. But the key is that you learn things regardless of where you go. You're not counting calories. There's no points. There's no weighing your food. You're on a one-way trip to Palookaville if you play that game. Can you eat too much protein? It's really difficult. I'll ask people on my scope, say a yes, say a why if you eat too much. So people that are on my program, that are on the scope, do you guys have to work hard to get your protein intake? That shit works off many calories. Thank you. Again, we're talking about saving people's lives here, because now we're seeing that body fat and cancer and disease processes go hand in hand. For you ladies, and you can look this up online, don't trust me. Don't trust anyone that talks about this kind of stuff unless they can back it up with research. Type in, go to PubMed and body fat and cancer, body fat and ovarian cancer, body fat and breast cancer. You'll see research paper after research paper supporting lowering your body fat below 30%. What are your thoughts on water fasting? My first fast, how do you know you need it? And I go back, what's your goal? Now, if you're a person that eats, garbage 12 hours a day, has candy by the table and all this sort of thing, and eats anything they want, yeah, maybe a good 3 or 4 hour water fast will help them. But I can almost guarantee you, and I've had my business coach, and I've had patients say, I want to do a fast. I want to do a juice fast. I've got a place that will deliver it to my office. How long should I do it for? I said, why don't you try 3 hours? And then if you do that, maybe in a week or two, try 4 hours. You see? One patient of mine tried, he said, I want to do a 6 hour juice fast. Well-off guy, business guy, real great guy. He went 5 hours. He called me and said, I can't make it to the 6th hour. I'm starving. So it's, we're human beings. We have human tendencies. We have old habits, and we have to work within that realm until we can retrain our pathways. And that usually takes about 21 days. So let me take a drink, and what can folic acid supplements do? If your diet isn't reasonable, not much. At 24 days, need to be caught hell from others. What are your thoughts on eating a certain amount of macros per day protein for that? Then again, is it feasible? If you can just eat your lean body mass and protein per day, everything else will fall into place. I found probiotics in a pill form really helped me. Excellent. No, probiotics are excellent. But again, you have to. Again, I've been at this licensed for 20 years, fooled around for the 8 before that, so 28 years. And I'm giving you guys like the pearl things to do. It's not that the other things are wrong or bad. What can you do consistently day in, day out? Because, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Lean body mass and protein, can you repeat? Certainly. So I'm going to give you guys some tips. So I'm going to stay with me. I'm going to give you the lean body mass key at the end of this scope. I promise. It's one of the 10 pillars of my program. That your carbs and fat be buffers, yeah, I'm not following you. What are the best ways to gain muscle weight? Support the lean body mass that you have. If you're not eating the correct amount of protein to support the lean body mass that you have, you'll go into a state called catabolism, which means that muscle just breaks down because it's not being supported. Exercise does that. Exercise causes catabolism. It causes a breakdown of muscle fibers, and you have to rebuild it. So exercise is a form of controlled trauma. You're traumatizing your tissues. If you feed it properly, it will come back a little bit more. And the best example of that is a bodybuilder or a power lifter. They're controlling trauma, but they're feeding themselves. They're coming back a little bit stronger. Calorie buffers to fill the void after the protein is met. Calorie buffer sounds pretty cool, but what does it really mean? Just eat three vegetables for one protein. Keep it super simple. I've got a 3-month meal plan that gives you meals and a weekly diet plan that you can follow. There's, if you're not vegan, there's eggs in it, there's meatloaf, there's bacon. And people say, oh, you have bacon on your lean body mass program because it has a low glycemic load. We're not talking about anything other than getting rid of body fat. Low carb, high protein. Not necessarily. Thank you. I agree. There are questions oh, certainly. Yeah. I've refined it over the years. I have a beer every now and then, but you have to get your fundamentals correct. And the worst time to drink, unfortunately, is at nighttime. Is the Atkins diet. Dr. Atkins was brilliant because he was a trailblazer. But in my humble opinion, very humble opinion, the flaw was that he had you on the the ketogenic aspect until you lost the weight, and it's really tough on your kidneys. So in my opinion, if you're going to do a keto-based diet, you need to cycle in and cycle out of it, cycle in and cycle out of it. Maybe you do it 10 or 12 days. So when you do that, 2 things happen. You give your renal system a break, your digestive tract a break because it's very low fiber because of all the fat that's in it. But your renal system gets a break. It's really tough on the kidneys. That's why if you're really heavy and you've got some health problems, high blood pressure, and you're on medication, you think about doing a low-carb diet like that, talk to your physician. You may have some kidney issues. He may want to run some special tests to make sure you're okay. God forbid you go into ketosis and it overwhelms your kidneys because you only have keto. For those of you guys, this is important to understand. If you really want, because fat metabolism can only take place when ketone bodies are burned. So when we burn fat for fuel, think about your car. When exhaust comes out of the tailpipe, that's a byproduct of the combustion in the engine. Well, when ketone bodies come out of the urine, that's a byproduct of one of 2 things, either renal failure or fat metabolism. You'll smell a sweet breath. The urine will smell a little odd, but you'll be able to test it with these strips. That's the core of the Atkins idea. And it worked phenomenal. I personally got down to 5%. I've had people, fitness models and other things, get down to 7, 8, 6%. Anything to get rid of love handles. This is it. You can't spot reduce. You get lean from the top of your head to the tip of your toe. There's no such thing as wraps and all that business. It's only temporary. Is it possible for me? I have fast metabolism, can't seem to gain weight. It's possible for anyone. You have to support, Brianna, you have to support your lean body mass, young lady. There's no way that you're 2%. No, it's impossible to get that low. I am sick today, so could not eat today, flu, cold. Okay, that's fine. So you're sick, fluids, fresh fruit. Those days you may not be able to meet your lean body mass requirement. That's okay. Your body is regenerating and rehealing. That's fine. My doctor said I'm obese, 25, and enjoying Orange Theory Fitness and need to go nutritional. Yeah, that's a place to start. But, I recommend if you have a swimming pool there, just walk in the pool. Fruit gives bad GERD. It used to be heavy, been working out for about 2 years now, but now I hit. Yeah, I'll keep saying this. Don't get mad at me and don't leave and block me. You have to support your lean body mass. And I'm going to do this again for you new people. Let me introduce myself and I'm getting ready to end my scope, so hang with me. I'm going to give you guys a real key tip at the end. I'm Dr. George Kosmides. I've been practicing functional medicine when it wasn't even known what it was. I took the very first seminar from Dr. Jeffrey Bland in 1996, who was the main fomenter and the main push behind leaky gut syndrome. I've taken some work at the Chopra Center in La Jolla. I've went to China and studied acupuncture. I've been practiced legally for over 20 years with a physical license, and I teach diabetes education to doctors here in the state of California. I teach them 12 hours a year. My goal is that you don't lose your family or loved one. I lost my father at 56 and my 2 uncles at 55 and 31. My 31-year-old uncle was an orthopedic surgeon. So just because you're trained medically doesn't mean you understand the basic fundamentals or you can apply them to yourself. So that's what I do. I've written a book. If you guys are, I've written 4 of them. My latest book is Life Without Diabetes. You can get it on Amazon. It's like $10, but it's 114 pages. It's easily written, and it's got meal plans, and it talks about the basics of how people got that way. And the same premise of my Lean Body Academy, the basis of it is from my book. So that being said, let me see, as I starve myself, but no, don't starve yourself. Yeah, because you didn't support your lean body mass. Remember, getting back to intermittent fasting, the goal is to drop your blood glucose. You can do it without totally not eating for 12 hours at a time. Leaky gut syndrome, in a nutshell, is when the gut lumen is not functioning well or unhealthy, and it lets elements pass through it that normally would be either stopped or put through the digestive tract properly. And these, according to research, gets into joints and other things that can cause problems. They're linking it to, some research is linking it to colitis, diverticulitis, digestive disorders. Just understand, if you have digestive problems, the same tissue that lines your gut also lines your joint capsules. So if you eat if you're really unhealthy digestively, I'll bet you're really stiff, and you probably have a fibromyalgia diagnosis somewhere in your future. What degree did you graduate with a DC degree? By the way, put a picture in that egg. How do you feel about that eating after dinner? I've heard that just depends on when you go to sleep, Eddie. So, and it depends on what you're eating for dinner. The goal is, and I'll give you one of the tips now, is 3 hours before bed, no simple sugars. Doesn't help. What do I do? Understand your lean body mass. What do I do if I'm never hungry? Well, if you're never hungry, there's something else going on. Either you're doing a lot of stimulants, drugs, you're taking something in that's causing your digestive tract to just constrict. Coffee will do that. Stimulants will do that. Do not drink coffee with your meals. Any tips on what I should eat to still burn fat and build muscle? Support your lean body mass, Mitch. And there's a particular formula that you want to use. Once you own it, once you have that formula, you own it. In other words, you know exactly. I'm gonna ask again. For my people that are on they're in my Lean Body Academy, what's your lean body mass protein intake per day? Watch this, guys. This is so cool. Yeah, 2 pots a day. You're going to age exceedingly fast. Give it to me, guys. What's your 2-digit number for lean body protein? Here it comes, guys. This is my crew right here. These guys know what they're doing. And once you have that number down, the world is your oyster as far as your body goes. You can determine how lean you want to be just by manipulating that lean body mass. So that's something about being cerebral. You don't have to be super smart. You don't have to know some high-tech kind of things. Joanne, rice and spam, just about 50 grams a day. What that means is the correct amount of protein to support the body that you have. Coffee keeps me thin, though. It keeps your body fat high, Bree. So I'm concerned about your body fat numbers. So don't confuse being thin with being lean. I'm going to repeat that. Don't confuse being thin with being lean. There's a big difference. I love coffee too. I love it so much that I got rid of my espresso machine because I was taking in too much. But what if I gain weight? You have to think about, I'll give you an example. Next time you're out somewhere, look at a muscular guy or muscular gal. I guarantee you they're probably 10 or 15 pounds heavier than someone their same weight that's not muscular, because muscle just weighs more. So don't get caught up in your weight. Get caught up in your lean body mass. I just had someone on my program say she gained a pound, but she lost 1% of body fat, and she was 125. So she lost what? Almost 1.5 pounds of fat versus gaining 1 pound of weight. We have to change our thinking here. It's crucial. Research supports this. Grain because I caught, yeah. So in the morning is fine, but don't drink it with meals because it'll disrupt protein absorption. It's key. What I drink now is E9. It's a product one of the only products that I endorse in the morning, and I drink a growth hormone releasing product and I don't endorse a lot of products, but just those 2 products alone in 12 weeks, I had dropped 5% body fat. It's phenomenal for me. I'm hovering at like 13%. He's in LA. You should go by his office. Oh, thanks, Joanne. Yeah, growth hormone is what we release at nighttime. And there's certain ways we can accelerate it, certain ways we suppress it. Look, I'm in my 50s. I got to get as much as I can. You know what I mean? I don't want to age anymore. What's your thoughts about branched chain amino acids? It's just amino acids. It's the building blocks of protein. They used to call it, when I was in school, protein is the building blocks of life. I don't know what happened to that term. You're 44. Okay, you got plenty of time. I mean, to me, the 50s are the new 30s. So, you know, I feel good. I plan on getting in the best shape of my life this year. And I'm going to come out with a non-impact fitness routine. I just have so many things on my plate right now, but I'm going to get to it. So thanks for the emails. I'm working on it. I'm only one person. So I'm going to wrap up the scope. So now I'm going to give you, says the 50-year-old, yeah, I'm 52, guys. What do you suggest to quit smoking? Stop it, Bree. It's gonna cut short your life. What I had one patient do is they went to a facility and they saw a lung of a smoker, and it's addictive. There's no question. No question. You know, try hypnotherapist, try acupuncture, try anything that you possibly can to break away. But you have to want to break away, number one, and you've got to be mindful of people that you're around. If they're still smoking, it's going to be an issue. But you know, you can do it. To give you some brief history, when I almost lost my life in an accident, I was put on something called Stadol. For you docs watching me, Stadol is a form of synthetic morphine. And I physically got addicted to it. And it was hell. I was 19 years old. I was addicted to morphine. But I got myself off. You know why? Because the doctor told me I'll never get off it. And you need to go to a methadone clinic and be treated just like a drug addict. And that was all it took for me. I was off it in like 3.5 weeks. So I've been there. I've had my struggles. I've had my challenges, and I still do. But you have to find out what's your goal? What do you want? How do you want to live your life when you're 50 and 60 years old? I see patients all the time, and I see them in their 60s, and I can see exactly what they did, or at least have an idea of what they did in their 40s and 50s to end up in their 60s at the shape that they're in. And I don't know one guy out there on Periscope or the world that I've met in their 70s that doesn't want to be youthful and energetic again. Not one. Thanks, Joanne. You want to be lean, Bree. Forget thin. I don't know how old you are, but I guarantee you're on a one-way trip to Palookaville. It may seem nice now, but you start, I don't know if you're in your 20s or your 30s, but I guarantee you when you start getting close to, mid-century, 29, you're still in your 20s. You can pretty much do anything then, but I guarantee you're not going to have the same body you have when you're 39, and you will be 39 one day, unfortunately. What is the best way to lose like 20? You got to find out what your lean body mass is. Okay, so I'm going to end my scope now. I'm going to give you guys a calculation. Palookaville, not a good place. It's definitely not a good place. And it's a one-way trip. Seems like you have a lot of clients. I've been at this a long time. Yeah, so here's the key. So lean body mass. Once you take, so I'm let's say 180 pounds. I've got 15% of that is fat. So I subtract that from my weight, I get my lean body mass. Now, based on that and my activity level, I can determine how much protein to take in. 0.3, 0.5. If I'm really active, maybe I get 0.8 grams that day. And then that's what I continue to support the muscle that I have. I know. In the academy, I have a PDF, and I actually go through a screen flow. I kind of walk you through it. What is your lean body mass? I'm at about 15%. Now, my goal is 9, but I've been stymied for about 3 months. But I know why. It's not because I'm just, some days I don't eat my lean body mass and protein, and I'm working and I'm teaching and things. I've got a 5-year-old daughter. Okay, so your weight, and then you have to figure out what your body fat percentage is. You have to figure out that number. And then if you're super active like me, I should be at about 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. So if my lean body mass is 150 pounds, I'm about at 120 grams, 130 grams a day. If I'm really active, maybe I'm at 150 grams a day. You say, oh my goodness, there's Lucretia. Lucretia, she's been with me, I think, 5 months. Tell the folks how much weight you've dropped and how much body fat you've dropped. This lady is amazing. Without going to the gym, I mean, she may have walked and things, but listen to this lady. She's phenomenal. And tell them how you feel. She's a phenomenal. I've got so many phenomenal people in the program. It's just amazing. Yeah, isolated whey is what I take. 29 pounds and 9% body fat. 29, guys. She looks unbelievable. How much should someone who is 6'2" weigh? How much is your body fat? That's an arbitrary number. That's like saying, how big should my house be? It's an arbitrary 9% of body fat. See, that's an objective number. Once you know that number, everything goes from that. So who was it? Lee that was on, Bree that was on here with the. It's not about thin. Don't take photos of me not knowing what that device is called, not following that. I weigh 214. I'm 25% isn't bad. I would say you're in the upper limits of what I would consider a good number. Is that info? The eating plan is in my latest book, but when I wrote that book, I didn't understand the true significance of lowering your body fat until I started reading more and more research, and everything is pointing to it. Like I said, go to PubMed and type in body fat and illness, and you'll see a plethora of research papers talking about that. Show her the hormone. Okay, I'll show it. Hold on one second. I'll get it. Hold on. No idea where it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it looks like this. So the technology behind this is something called bioimpedance. If you like the book, it's called The Pizza Plan. So this is it. It's what is this brand? Ormond. They make a physical scale that'll give you both your weight and your body fat. But you just hold on to the handles and it gives you a number and it throws a current through your body. You won't feel the current. It's an ohm. It's like less than what comes out of it's near nothing. And it'll give you a percentage of your body fat. What is the device called? It's called a bioimpedance hand monitor. What fasting protocol do you recommend? 3 hours before bed, no simple sugars. I'll repeat that. 3 hours before bed, no simple sugars. But see, you have to know what a simple sugar is. You're welcome, Bree. It's on his website. Yeah, go on the, is it on my website? Yeah, I think it's on my website. Go to georgekosmides.com and go to products, and you'll see it there because everyone is asking me. So I just had someone put an Amazon link up there for you guys. So if I'm 20, what's the proper amount of, you're asking me for that. Okay, let's calculate this out for you. 25% of 214. So you're 60, your lean body mass is somewhere, again, in the ballpark area, about 160 pounds, 170 pounds. So if you're super active, I would have you at about 150 grams a day. I used to fast from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. every day, work great. Yeah, it will, but again, David, we're talking about people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. What you can get away with in your 20s, it's tough to get away with in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. You have to be way more cerebral. Hey, you're welcome. There. That's good though, 25%. I've been at this game for a long time, so I'm trying to cut as many corners. I've got a 5-year-old daughter. I'm super busy. I'm trying to cut as many corners as I can. So I'm giving you guys like the pearls of what to focus your time on. Does that mean, herbal products aren't important or yoga is not important? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means that if you have 5 things to do, which are the most beneficial 5 things that you can possibly do? I'm having weird health problems. I know something isn't right, but they can't figure it out. Well, I'm in Redondo Beach, and I'm a pretty good detective. Thank you. Good to have you back. My friend wanted to lose weight, so she ate 300 calories a day. Yeah, ridiculous. You have to qualify the calories. Are they carbohydrates? Are they proteins? Are they fats? Hey, that's just ridiculous. Churning stomach. There's something going on. Well, the first thing is to recognize that you have a problem. Second thing is, okay, let's find some solutions that are reasonable that I can do. So back on, down 15 pounds, get back. There's another lean body member, I'm pretty sure. It's so fast because you guys' comments come so quick. I can't keep up. Thank you for the hearts. Check for ulcer, but now I'm still sick. Yeah, there's something going on. If you're drinking coffee and cigarettes every day, maybe your body's just had enough. The best thing I can recommend, the best thing I heard was some advice from Professor Dr. Parkash, a pathology teacher at my college. He said, when patients tell you they've never had these problems before, let them know that they've never been that age before. So as we mature, our bodies become more sensitive to certain things. Hey, great to see you and Joanne scoping the other day. Yeah, Joanne's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, she's What's your thoughts on counting microbes? Can you do it consistently? Cannot. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just you can't do it consistently. Lean body mass, lean body mass. I'm going to keep pushing it. Is there anything on the picture to stay away from when you're insulin resistant? Yeah. It's the key thing. 3 hours before bed, no simple sugars. And protein is your best blood sugar monitor. I wrote the book on diabetes. And I've resolved patients. In fact, there's a couple in my book. Blood sugar 771, 817, A1C's 23. Resolved in 3 months. I didn't treat their diabetes, helped modify their lifestyle. I joined a program called Eat to Perform. Have you heard? No, I haven't. Hello, Thomas from, hey. No. Any program, and this is my humble opinion, that doesn't focus on supporting your lean body mass, you're on a one-way trip to Palookaville. You'll never get the results that you thought you were getting. And it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're genetically deprived. It's not from all these ridiculous, non-qualified comments. It's because physiologically your body just needs basic support. And if you're not giving it, Palookaville is a place that you don't want to go. It's actually from an old Marlon Brando movie, On the Waterfront. You guys remember that movie? Marlon Brando? Am I that old? He was in the back of a car and he was in a, I'll digress for a moment. He had thrown a fight. He threw a boxing fight, and he said, now I'm on a one-way trip to Palookaville, because his life was basically over. And what I'm saying is, it's not about working hard. It's about, okay, let's find a way to support the muscle mass that we have. Yeah, protein shakes, and the best ones, from a bioavailable standpoint, don't get off coffee right away, Bree. You'll have a massive headache. What I would do is, if you're on 3 cups a day, think about this for a moment. If you drink 3 cups a day, 5 days a week, that's about 12 gallons a year. You see? So you want to slowly come off it, maybe intermix something called yerba mate, which is a non-alkaloid based caffeine, which seems to be a little bit better on the digestive tract. But what I think is happening, hi Diane, what I think is happening is all these stimulants are beginning to affect your digestive tract. Where maybe in your early 20s you could tolerate it, but now your body is saying, I cannot. Is coffee a day okay? Well, it's 3.5 gallons a year if you do it 5 days a week. So I love it. I've got coffee here, but don't drink it with your meals, and at least 1 or 2 days every 7, break it up, because if it stays in your system 24/7, I am a doctor, it'll begin to influence your sleep patterns. And if you want to age quickly, mess up your sleep patterns. How about beer? I love it, but be conservative. Yeah, but Bree, the problem is if you ate nutritionally dense foods, you wouldn't have a appetite that's out of control. It sounds funny, but it seems like people, one side of my body builds muscle fat. Yeah, we're always going to have asymmetry in our body. If you look at your hands or you look at your face, there's always an asymmetry. That's just how we roll. What about Diet Coke? I don't recommend it at all. Drink a liter a day, and within about 5 years, you'll probably develop kidney stones. You have a website. Go to in my profile. Just go to Lean Body Academy. I just launched that about 7 days ago because I got tired of dealing with WordPress and all this kind of stuff. It's a membership platform. There's a couple reasons why it's so bad. It's highly acidic, which wherever you see disease processes in the body, there's 2 things that disease processes need to have: an acidic environment and an anaerobic environment. Plus, if they're sweetened with synthetic sweeteners like asulfame K and aspartame and NutraSweet, bad research out on that stuff. So I'm very conservative, but I have to go with the research. I do. Right now, there's a 50% off for the first month in my academy. Just type in the code in the first page. Do you think that cutting out gluten will be good? Cutting out low-quality gluten, Brie, is the key. And that was based on some research that I recently read about 2 months ago. And they said gluten doesn't appear to be the problem. It's the low-quality gluten that appears to be the problem. If Diet Snap will sweeten with synthetic sweeteners other than stevia, I don't recommend it. What is the Academy about? Academy about is getting lean, but understanding how to take care of your own body. No, not everything diet is bad. Stevia is calorie-free and no glycemic load. Is it bad? The research on it appears to be pretty promising. Test therapy, if done right. You mean testosterone therapy? It depends on the circumstance. Remember, whenever you take a synthetic hormone to replace one that you already have, your own hormones shut down even further. Is vegan bad? If you're going to be vegan, be a real smart one. The book that I recommend is by I don't think he's a doctor, Jethro Kloss, Back to Eden. Is there a way to have a flat stomach without abs? Yeah, you win abs in the kitchen. You won't win them in the gym. I don't recommend doing sit-ups at all. If it's a shelf life, it's shorten your life. That's pretty reasonable. I would agree with that. In my 30s, and my wife went 3, I feel like I thought my metabolism has stopped all belly fat. Yeah, 30 is an interesting age, right? I'm 52, so it's been a while for me. How do you know where low quality gluten may be found? That's what I'll teach you in the Lean Body Academy. But for example, how many of you, and this is put a 1 here if you know it, put a 2 if you don't. How many of you heard of Kamut? K-A-M-U-T. How many of you heard of Kamut? 2 means, I forgot this, 2 means no. Okay. Kamut is a wheat product, but the gluten quality is very high. I'm going to ask you folks another question. How many of you know what gluten is? 1 is I know, 2 is I don't. What is gluten? Or you can throw up what you think it is. I asked doctors this, and I would say a third of the room doesn't know. Okay. So gluten, that's absolutely correct. Who is that? Yoli. Gluten is the protein of the element. So what I'm saying, based on the research that I'm reading, is what they're saying is gluten may be besides the point. The quality appears to be the issue. So like the semolina pastas that we get at the commercial store, low quality gluten. Seitan, which is a soy protein, low quality gluten. We want higher quality glutens like Kamut, whey isolate, high quality. The body appears to function much better on that. I'm fat and I want to lose weight. Excellent. Being mindful is the first step. Over processed foods, I can't lose weight. No, you can lose weight. No, don't. Hey, my dad died at 56. Yeah, isolated whey has the best biological value. My father died at 56 from congestive heart failure. My uncle's at 55 and 31. Does that mean, and I'm 4 years younger than my dad, my resting heart rate's 58 and my blood work is supreme. So Kamut, that's correct. K-A-M-U-T. And I don't say that to boast. I just say that don't buy into that. How can I be less muscular? I never work out. I don't get it. Well, Bree, in order to determine how muscular you are, you have to get your body fat percentage. What is your body fat percentage? No, half of that. If you type in the code, you'll be charged half of that amount. It's like 50 cents a day, 60 cents a day, something like that. And I've had it lower than that. Not to boast, just to say don't buy into this fact, well, my dad died, so I'm going to die young. Once you have that mentality, then your responsibility goes out the window. I look like a woman bodybuilder now, for real. What's your body fat though, Bree? That's the number that you have to know. And believe me, I've worked with some female bodybuilders. Holy smokes, get down to 5%. It looks, I have all the respect in the world for them. Best air mouth. Air mouth is another good one. Buckwheat, interesting. Buckwheat is not a wheat product at all. It's actually a fruit. It's related to the rhubarb plant. It's a fruit seed. You look. Stop eating bread. I had a gallbladder removed. Oh, then you need to be kind to your liver, because now your liver has to make bile on demand, which makes it really tough for you to process fats. Makes it really tough for you to process fat-soluble vitamins. So normally, people who have their gallbladders removed, within 2 to 5 years, they develop heart palpitations. I use water fast every Monday. No, that's a pretty, intermittent fasting like that is fine, but, we always have to keep our mind on what's our goal. Butter is one of the better fats. Coconut oil is probably the best that I'm aware of. Just because of the medium chain fat that's inside of it. So did you guys get some value from my scope today about intermittent fasting? And I answered several other questions. I'm going to wrap up my scope now. Please, whatever you decide to do, be reasonable, be consistent, give it 90 days. The first 3 months of my program is what I call the fast track. Be consistent, be reasonable, love yourself, be kind to yourself, and try to help everyone that you possibly can. Duck fat for butter, I wouldn't do that. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Okay, bye-bye. Good night. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.